I'm a real be with people kind of person. We're talking about women empowerment, which we've heard from the other speakers is actually people empowerment. It just happens to be that women are being more vocal about it, right? We have found that it is not just a mental kind of thing, and you've heard that from other conversations. It is actually an energy thing, okay? So a movement always begins with moving energy first. So I have one, as a mother of 4 children, I have a little bit of mother preachiness to share with you. You can be physically present in this room, but if you are on your phone and distracted, you are taking energy out of this room. So, just like if you're checking your social media at the dinner table, you're not together with your family. We're talking about very important issues here that impact our lives, our children's lives, and our children's children's lives. So to create a unified energy field in this room, it is important that everyone is physically present, mentally present, as in asking themselves questions. Does this relate to any kind of circumstance that I have lived or a friend of mine has lived? Because the advice that you get in a context like this with experts from around the world, in a context like this, thank you, Dr. Bhatia, a big round of applause. Let's get some energy for Dr. Bhatia and his beautiful work. You know, what you take away in little tidbits, you might give that advice to a random person and change their lives. You want to be here present, body, mind, and soul, because the movement now is energy, body, mind, and soul. HRD, if you've been here in the past couple days, you've heard all those conversations. It's not just the mental leadership model. It's not just emotional intelligence. It is body, mind, and soul. So I would invite you, as a very loving mother, and actually as a little bit of a reprimand, please be present, body, mind, and soul, okay? And, I'm not a punisher. I just like to observe things and say, hey, we want to create a unified energy field, because it goes beyond just what you're doing. It's an energy field of consciousness that is raised when we are here, body, mind, and soul. Okay, can we agree on that? Yes! How about if we do some energy shifting? I want everyone to raise their hand. It will be a democracy. You will be asked, I'm sorry. First the questions. Yeah, got them here. First the questions. Okay, to shift energy, because sitting down is maybe difficult, or there's a lot of mental stuff, we can have 2 choices. We will shift energy either. Option 1 will be through just a little bit of breathing. Option 2, standing up if you want, even eyes closed, and dancing. So how would we like to shift the energy? 1, meditation. Raise hands who would like to do a little bit of meditation. Democracy. What is this? Someone, please. Who's gonna look at the democratic vote, please? You guys look at the democratic vote. 1 is breathing meditation. Raise your hand. 2 is stand up and move your body, kind of dancing. Raise your hand.
Meditation 1, hands down.
Is it equal?
No,
Meditation 1. Okay, everyone close their eyes. Put your things down, get a whatever comfortable position. And just imagine that you're bringing energy from Mother Earth. Breathe in while you're bringing energy up from Mother Earth into your heart. Breathe in, pause. Feel your heartbeat. And then slowly breathe out like you're whispering in a baby's ear. Real long. Then breathe in again. Get all that energy from Mother Earth coming up into your legs, going through your body, up into your heart. Pause. Feel your heart expand. And this time, send a big love of gratitude up to the universe, your deities, your whatever. big with this expanded heart. Send that up to the universe. And then breathe out slowly like you're whispering in a baby's ear. And one more time. Now we'll start from the top. From the universe, Father energy. Bring energy down into your body and breathe in. Pause. Feel your heart beat. And when you're ready, breathe out like you're whispering in a baby's ear. And then feel the flow of energy down into Mother Earth. Thank you. Bring that energy up into your body, through your heart, up into the universe. Feel that connection. So women empowerment is about moving energy of love for the betterment of the world. Do you agree? Do we have to snap a couple people out of meditation? This guy could go on. I can see he's like, really got the drunk eyes from. Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation. You have now energized our wonderful panel. And first we have a beautiful slide presentation. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Christine Bruckner. I'm an architect, and I have a few slides to share with you. Please bear with us as we get started. Thank you very much. So I'm going to talk about how we empower people, women as people, of course, through space. So please just give me a minute here, and let's just confirm how this is moving forward. There we go. So this is who I am. I'm an architect. I am a mother of 3. I have studied engineering and architecture around the world, and I'm very focused on our human wellness. What is it about ourselves and about people that is so critical in the way that we form our entire world? What can we do? How do we take care of that? I'm going to share a bit more here. Throughout, it's interesting, they've actually changed the proportions, but that's okay for you. Throughout my life, now working at M. Moser Associates as an architect and director, it's always been about empowering people, getting people to think about themselves, to be engaged, to get excited, whether it's working with the high school girls towards their gold awards, whether it's working with those young children as we engage to build them a school, whether it's actually speaking to people about the spaces they've designed. We get excited about what it is that they want. So imagine this. I think it's so important. We're talking about young women. We start with the youngest women. We've talked about education. But what is education? It's engagement. What do people want to do? So when we design a school, we not only talk to the administrators and look at the site and figure out the sizes, we go and talk to the kids. And they are fabulous. These girls right here, they had a few ideas. And we heard them, we valued their ideas, and they started talking and drawing and drawing. We could hardly stop them. And we did this for every age group in the whole school. I've done this for multiple schools. When we finally present the design, they're so engaged because they feel that they helped create it. And they did. They really did. And then when they're in those spaces, it makes a difference. Even at the youngest levels, this is a nursery school, we create all the furniture so that the tiny kids can move it, create their own environment, be engaged, be empowered. This is, of course, when they get up to Yale University, at any era, at any stage. Engagement, transparency, light. Working with nature. This is very, very critical. And I think that's one of the things, as Mother Earth, as women, as mothers, we have an understanding of natural environments, of nurturing, of taking care of people. It's something unique that we can bring to the table when we're creating environments for everybody around the globe. And I think this is a very fascinating slide. I hope you'll understand it clearly. But you see that big blue part? That's how important your environment is. It doesn't matter as much about your DNA or how many times you go to the gym. The space that you're in becomes who you are. We breathe it, we experience it, we react to it, the energy of it. That's how important the design of our spaces really is. And that is what led me then to try to figure out, how do we incorporate spaces that really empower people, that let them be? And I'm going to share a little story. When I was quite young, my mother is an urban designer, my father's an architect, and we were trying to understand what it is that we do. What do we do? And we came up, and I understand, and I've held this. We create places for people in which they can reach and exceed their own potential. Isn't that the definition of empowerment? That's what the design of architecture is. Thank you. Now, the firm that I'm working with, M. Moser Associates, is phenomenal. It's a woman-based firm, and it has more than 60% are women, and we have 3 offices here in India, and we have over 900 people. And we're working around the globe together, holistically. I'm very, very excited to be working at a place like that, which doesn't look at you for woman or man, but how you do your job. And that is, again, we spoke about how we're raised, and I think our parliament woman from India here, she mentioned she was brought up to feel that you can do anything. And I was honored to have that same upbringing. And I think we're going to learn that not everybody has that, but let's make that be the truth. Man or woman, anything is possible. This is about wellness, and I won't go into too much detail. These are some examples. What about this basic concept? Every day, wherever you go, what if it made you healthier just by being in the space? Not about what you did there, how many times you did pull-ups, just by being in the space. What does that mean? Because everything in our environment is made up of molecules, and so many of those molecules go inside of you, and they really are not good for you. So many of the things that the world is making now. If we actually vet that and make sure that the air quality, the water quality, the material quality, all of that is ideal, that's the beginning point. That should be what we do everywhere. There should be no other option. Beyond that, we incorporate, energize, and create activity. These are the 7 features. You can look it up on the internet if you're interested, but these are the benefits. They're so numerous. We usually use the word productivity because that appeals to many people in terms of their ROI, but we here are using the word empowerment, because when you're empowered, you are much more productive, you are much happier, and you will do the things that you only could dream of. Air here is a very big deal, as it is in China. This slide is, even in the USA, less than 1% of all the chemicals, of all the materials, are actually vetted for our health and safety. How is that even possible? How could that be? It's on us as consumers, as architects, as people who are building the environment, to ensure that you're in places which are healthy and help you to be the best that you can be. This is my friend's child. He's working with Giga. These are all of the toxins that are found in our children. And it's something we have to change. We have to also find ways to incorporate nature. Do you remember this morning Michelle said when she's hit with some kind of betrayal, where does she go? She looks for nature. She finds pause. She finds presence. All of us need biomimicry. We need relationship to our real world. We need to connect. We can design that very easily. Even in places where there are no greenery, we can copy the materials. We can use wood. We can use patterns. We can help to de-stress people. I will share one financial opportunity. So we think about schools. What about a bank? What about a headquarters? Can that be a place of wellness? Could I be healthier every time I go to work? Yes. And in fact, this is certified. And we changed their entire methodology, raising awareness for the food they eat. They didn't think a salad bar would be productive or healthy. Popular. It's very, very popular. The idea is when you educate people, even at all ages, they make the right choices. Ergonomics, lifting, movement, gym, all of this is critical. And we even are working with the same clients around the world. Here in India, we've done so many of their spaces as well. Also working on the first well project as well. So it is possible to do it everywhere, and we should be doing it right here. This is our office in Hong Kong. This is something I love. We cut out a hole right through the core wall and connect it to trees. So you see trees, people, wood, people, trees. Anywhere you go, you have a green access. It doesn't matter what kind of day you're having, you're going to be able to connect and de-stress just by being in the space and enjoy it. We designed our own furniture that meets all the human needs, and you can move at the office. Everything, we can use a Fitball, you can punch out a feeling, you can do yoga. This is all part of a work environment. And the last space I'm going to leave you with is our newest one. We're going to be moving into the Woolworth building. It's a 100-year-old skyscraper, built to be a concierge building, but quite old. And we're going to make it a premium, well, healthy space, a thought leadership opportunity. You're all welcome to visit us there. And we're going to try to keep teaching these ideas. How do we empower people? How do we make spaces that are truly healthy where anything's the limit? And this is actually the space and the design, a bit unusually formed. This here is a mother's room, a wellness space. In every space that we design now, a place where you can go as a mother to pump milk, or you can just go to pray, or to find peace, close your eyes. And here we are designing another bank, 3 wellness areas. This is happening now, and it's time to really embrace it because it takes care of all people. And we take it to the level of a building, we take it to the community, and it's how we design for well-being. So I'm going to end on this picture. Maybe we can keep it in the background to inspire us as we're talking. The beautiful things that are part of us, this de-stresses us and allows us to actually empower at every age. So thank you for the base.
Wow, big round of energetic applause. That's amazing. So now everyone is going to go home. They're going to look at their environment. They're going to look at their home space. They're going to get a little bit of order because even in our day-to-day life, we are not empowered if there's energy drain from clutter. You guys know that, you know? So these are for everyone to feel empowered. This is the idea, is you start with these small little things. You don't have to rebuild your home, but start with moving energy in your home, get rid of the clutter, you know, think about the people that you're around. There's toxicity in the materials, but even very often we carry that rancor, that anger, that frustration. There's toxicity in relationships. You know, that make sure that you're not the cause of the effect of someone, let's say, becoming toxic, if you want, because you're the cause of the effect of a lot of disempowerment in the words you say to people and how you speak to them and whether you smile at them or not, whether you ignore them, whether you have your head in a phone. Okay, just checking. I got to be a little bit of a mom. Okay, we're going to, that was a beautiful story, and she's even talked about her experience where she grew up in an environment of you can do everything and be everything. But we have another story about an environment from Margaret that is totally the opposite, and really her contribution in women empowerment, starting with schooling girls. Go and take it away, because she's got an amazing story. Go.
Hi, I'm Margaret Hirsch from South Africa. I brought my own flag. With all these flags here, there wasn't a South African, so I brought a little one. So thank you. And thank you for inviting me today, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm just going to, so I don't want my back to you, so I'm going to come and stand over here. So I'm going to give you some statistics, and these will amaze you. 66% of all the work done in the world is done by women. 50% of all the food produced in the world is produced by women. But only 10% of all the salaries in the world are earned by women. And only 1% of the land in the world is owned by women. How stupid are we? So how can we change this is the question, and this was the question that I came about. Now, when I was 10, my mother, who was a very wanted adopted child, married the boy next door, had a wonderful life in the old Zimbabwe, or the colonial Zimbabwe. Everything was beautiful. And she had me, then she had my brother, and she had a life that was like a Mills and Boon story until one day my father dropped dead. And she was left in a world where she couldn't cope. She had no skills. She had no way of doing anything. And I saw as a 10-year-old my mother going through the struggle of not having any worldly way of knowing how the world worked. She had never had to do anything. And I vowed then that, one, I would never put myself in that position. And secondly, that if I did become successful, which thank God I have, I would help other women. And that's what I do all day, every day. And so I went along in my school life, and I started work at 12 washing hair in a hairdressing salon to get money to buy shoes for my feet. And I then went along and I started work, And when I met my husband, who's here today, and my backup support, and when I met my husband, he could neither read nor write. He'd been through his whole school life and couldn't read nor write. And that's where I discovered my gift. My gift is that as I see people and as I look at every one of you, I don't see you as you are, but as you can be. And I want to ask you all a question. If you could have done more with your life up to now, could you have? And the answer everybody always says is definitely yes. So then I went along, and after being married for 5 years, I became pregnant, and my boss said to me 2 words: "You're fired." And in the country where women were not rated anywhere, I was fired, and I said, I will never work for a boss again, and I never have. And all that God had given me was my brains and my 2 hands, and I would use those to best ability. And that's when my husband, who then had realized that he wasn't stupid, that he could read and write, and we taught him very, very quickly to read and write, we started our own business called Hirsch's Home Stores, fixing appliances, and we grew to selling appliances. And long story short, it went along, and in 2012, I was voted Businesswoman of the Year in South Africa. And I said, what could I do to change not only my life, but the lives of the people around me? And I discovered to my horror that in that year, I was 62 years old, and I never realized that there were 9 million schoolgirls in South Africa, ranging between 11 and 18, of which only 40% went to school for 4 weeks of the month. 60% of those girls only went for 3 weeks of the month because they had no sanitary protection. So they stayed at home. And the end result was that with the girls, their marks went between 40 and 60%, where the boys' marks were between 60 and 80%. So the message being sent to the girls was that they were more stupid than the boys and that they were inferior because they could only go to school for 3 weeks of the month. So with my friend Sue Barnes we discovered...
Do you guys understand what she's saying? That when a woman has her menstrual cycle, she doesn't go to school.
She doesn't go to school, and she doesn't go to university. She couldn't do anything because they have no sanitary protection. So we invented reusable sanitary pads, which were washable and would last for 5 years. So we would give the girls, and going into high school, the reusable sanitary pads, and a lot of them didn't even have panties. So we had ones that you could clip, and tomorrow in my talk, I'm going to show you, do a show and tell of the panties that we make with the sanitary pads. And with that, we changed the lives of literally millions of girls in South Africa who can now go to school for 4 weeks of the month. And with that, their marks went from an average of 40%, and one particular girl went up to 86% within 6 months because she could write her exams. You see, she could be as clever as she wanted. But if she couldn't go to school and write her exam, she would get 0. So that would now make her not want to do it anymore, and she would lose her confidence, and she would lose her self-esteem. But now she had her self-esteem, she had her confidence, she could go to school, and she could do the work. So that's just some of the amazing things that we've done with the girls in our country. So I go around and to the schools, I try and go once a week, and I give out the packs of reusable sanitary pads to the girls so that they can go to school, and I teach them about their bodies, because a lot of them get pregnant and they don't even know how they did. So I have my uterus and my ovaries drawn on an apron, which I wear with great pride because the real ones are long gone. And I show them how their bodies work, and I explain to them how they get pregnant and also how not to get pregnant. And I go around all the schools. And by the way, men, I also do a painless circumcision, where we circumcise the boys because it cuts down the risk of HIV/AIDS by over 60%. And we circumcise the boys who want to be circumcised, and we teach the girls. And with that, we're taking the youth of our nation to another level. Because don't forget, we've come from a country where the education of most of the children was non-existent for a whole generation. So we now have to uplift these children to grow them to be the best they can be. I also take women out of the townships where they have no education, 0 education, and I teach them to cook, and not only to cook, but to make a living from cooking. And tomorrow I'll show you all the different ways that I teach women with no education to have a living. Why do I do this? Because by doing this, I increase a woman's self-esteem. And as soon as your self-esteem increases, everything else increases, including your bank balance. So from very humble beginnings, when my husband and I started out with absolutely nothing, our turnover this year will be over 2 billion rand. And I tell you this not to impress you, but to impress upon every one of you that if I can do it, you can do it too. And I'm hoping that today you'll take that message out to other people to know that they can change millions of people's lives by just doing something different. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, what a creative impact, you know. The changing, so, you know, you're changing the energy, you've got clear energy, and then that comes down into very practical things when you dare. She's a very confident woman, so we're going to talk, you know, about the empowerment is that confidence. You see that small little thing that can change, and you've got the courage. You dare yourself to actually do it. I mean, it's an amazing story. I love that we've been able to share. This is such an honor to be able to share the stories with you. And in these past couple days here at the conference, we actually talked to different women around the world that live in different countries and have a different take on what is women empowerment. And so with sort of our mini, word of mouth kind of survey, then, Simi's going to share what we find the better way to move the energy is not really the fighting against the external statistics of the, glass ceiling. It's actually something that's a little bit different. So go ahead, honey.
We need to shake a leg first. Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Simi Kataria. I'm working on coaching and innovative interventions. Are we awake? Do we want to shake a leg? Is the energy there? Do we want to shake a leg? All right, get up. All of us, get up. Shake a leg. Left foot. Left foot. And then a right foot. A left foot. And then a right foot. All right. Are we awake? Are we back on track? Do we have some energy? Yes? Yes? Do I want to hear a yes? All right. We are back on track. All right. Empowerment. We hear about empowerment, glass ceiling, gender gap, diversity, all over the place. It's everywhere. But it's not external. It is really not external. It is all internal. How many of us women have the capacity? Women are multitaskers. Women can have multiple roles. Women are mothers. Women are daughters. Women are sisters. Women have multiple roles. Women are equipped to do various roles. Are they not? Yes? 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 Hear it from the audience. Yes? So, women are. But, are we pleasing others? Raise a hand. Raise a hand. Are we always pleasing others? Yes? Do we always feel inadequate? Yes? Are we not completely feeling guilty when we are working? We haven't spent enough time with our husbands? Yes? 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 If we are with the children, not enough time with our husband? Yes? So, what's the answer? We have to empower ourselves. First, self-esteem, development of ourselves. Be in our space at that point. Learn to say and let go. Learn to say no. This is where I am. This is where I belong right now. This is my space with my children. This is my space with my husband. This is my sister. This is my role. Confusion of roles, responsibilities. No. Correct? I am not going to please the other person. Is that correct? Raise a hand. How do we get there? Everybody's saying, looking at me, I do this, I do this, I do this, right? But how do I get there? We need an external source, correct? We need an external source. We need somebody who, we can't see ourselves, correct? We really can't see ourselves. Can we see ourselves? We can't see ourselves. We can't, when we are in our roles of a mother, a daughter, a sister, a wife, so many responsibilities. Can we really see ourselves? No, we are so weighed down with our responsibilities and our things to do. We are just doing things. But we've got to stop, and we've got to reflect, and we've got to choose and make decisions and go and ask and see the mirror and go to people, professionals, and get advice. Go to coaches and get advice and get compartmentalized and prioritize your life. And until you hit and get frustrated in your life and say, I have had enough. I'm not going to have, I have too much responsibility with the kids, too much with the parents, too much with, and I'm not going to do this anymore, and get frustrated, midlife crisis. I am done. Is that what you want? Start. Be proactive. Correct? Be proactive right up front. Take action. Don't get there. Don't have the burnout. Be up front. Be proactive. Take an action. Correct? Do I have hands here? Yes? Do I hear a yes? Do I hear yes? Yes! That's what I want. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, because women will tend, we found this so many women were really in the have to do what everyone else wants before really asking themselves. So her invitation is, go within, even get some kind of a mentoringship or a coaching program. So you really do see yourself in the other person and make better choices. So we have our last guest, and you can go ahead and present yourself and your take on women empowerment.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lena Galba. I'll just wake it up. I'm a hospital director. I'm from Dubai. What we've all spoken about women empowerment from the women's point of view, and what does gender gap mean? So I'm not going to talk too much about that. But what is the role of a man in this? This is a very important question. I was in Shimla a couple of days ago. I was actually out in the field working in a village with some of the school kids out there. And I spoke about sanitation, health, closing the gender gap. I spoke to the girls, but I also spoke to the boys as well. And I explained to them that this has to start from a very young age. These boys have to see every woman as a sister and look at them with good eyes always. Every woman is a sister, is a mother, as a wife. So really the responsibility not just lies with ourselves, it also relies on all these wonderful men to help us as well. And they should start from the beginning at home, helping with the housework. Housework is not just for women, it's also for men. So when they grow up, they can also help their wives. If they see a girl being put down or belittled, they should also try and explain to other boys not to treat her like this. So I really feel this is also a responsibility of a man as well. Anything else you'd like to contribute to that? Yeah? Yes.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I have 3 boys and 1 girl. Oh, yeah, applause, please. Energy for her. Yes. Yeah, I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and I'm really lucky because I don't like to cook, so my boys had to learn how to cook to survive. So, everyone has their own stories. Are there any questions for our panelists? Self-empowerment, women empowerment, projects in Africa, architecture? Yeah. I'll run the microphone to you because I like to move.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I just want to add something here. Thank you very much for your presentations. I think it was lovely, and the meaning of empowerment for all of us over here. Lovely stories there, and what you guys are doing. And Simi, you too, thank you very much for the yes. I just want to say something. My name is Abha Banerjee, and I'm a motivational speaker. I started the motivation industry in India by default in 2008. So I just want to let you know that after all the stuff that we've done over here, there is a place where a lot of women who will jump in for this empowerment thing and would believe that it is possible. It is. But there's going to be, and I don't want to make it very flowery for anybody, it is going to be a little bit, there are going to be oppositions. There are going to be objections, and that is the time most women will back off. So I'd like to ask the 4 ladies on the stage there, was there ever a time, because most of the time, because through my seminars when I say, people love to be up there, but then, you know, when the moment they face opposition, they back off. Because they do not have the support, and they do not have people coming and telling them it's okay, just push it through, move on. You know, so that's the kind of support they don't get. So I just want to make it very nicely available and visible to people that this is the kind of thing that will happen. Push it through, punch it in the face, and I've been a badass myself, a lot of opposition, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. As long as you can go out there and hit it out, it's all right.
Super.
Thank you.
Well, does anyone have a story to share about opposition that you overcame that through whatever means you had that's recommended? Yeah, go ahead, Christine, take it over.
I can share that when we're working with many, many clients and many people using these spaces, and we share such beautiful ideas, there's nobody who wouldn't want those types of spaces. But many people will come back with, it's not possible, we can't afford it, it couldn't happen here. So what might happen when you hear that? It's very easy to say, oh well, maybe next time. And there are many, many colleagues, there's many people around the world for whom that is true. But when you truly believe that it is the only way to go forward, and it is the only path for all humanity to have this healthy environment for all of us, then you don't hear a no. You hear, oh, I hear this is your problem with that. What if, would you consider, might it be possible? And you keep going to your intent, and you don't give up. And you don't have to become a different person. I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm not going to use expletives. I'm just going to keep working together and finding a way to make it true and make it work. And that's how I work with opposition.
Yes, thank you. I know thank you for all your patience. I believe we went over a little bit time because we had, you know, juicy stories to share. Thank you for...
Thank you so much. What a lovely and amazing panel. And different sharing, but at the core of all of it is that we really need to take care of ourselves and really focus on how we can help others. And once we start doing that, then empowerment just blooms around us. Yep. So help me thank these ladies, and if I might have, it's for any one of them. Okay. So let's start here. Here. Oh yeah, in front here. Okay. Yeah, just big. Yeah, so. Okay. Super duper. Thank you. And this goes. The green goes with the green outfit. Okay. Come up, honey. There you go. Thank you. And of course, one for you too.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you. She was ready to dance.